Welcome back to another episode of Mystery Tales from the Heart of India. Picture this: a still Kerala evening swathed in monsoon mist, palm fronds dripping with raindrops, and the air heavy with the scent of damp earth and spices. In the quaint village of Koodathayi, under the swaying shadows of coconut palms, a series of deaths unfolded over 14 years, shattering the sleepy calm and revealing a truth more chilling than any legend. 6 seemingly unrelated family members collapsed within minutes of ordinary meals. Mothers, fathers, husbands, a baby girl, and no one suspected the smiling housewife who served them. Till now. This is the Koodathayi cyanide killings, India's most haunting serial murder mystery, where trust was poisoned and the line between innocence and evil blurred beyond recognition. It began in 2002 with a quiet afternoon at the Panamatam household. Anama Thomas, a 57-year-old retired schoolteacher, finished her morning walk and sipped a glass of water offered by her daughter-in-law, Jolly Joseph. Within moments, she felt dizzy, collapsed, and died in the emergency ward of the local hospital. Doctors recorded a heart attack. The grieving family buried her beneath swaying mango trees, unaware that the grate beneath her casket would also hold secrets. 6 years later, in 2008, the patriarch, Tom Thomas, Anama's husband, and a retired educator himself, complained of unease after supper. He stumbled into the bathroom, clutched the sink, and in seconds lay lifeless on the tiled floor. Again, the verdict was a heart attack. No autopsy, no second thoughts. Jolly sat beside the coffin, tears mixing with relief to inheritances secured, she told herself. 3 years passed before the next tragedy. In 2011, Jolly's husband, Roy Thomas, 40, collapsed after dinner rice and Bengal graham curry he had happily eaten just minutes earlier. He died in the locked bathroom, a post-mortem sample showing traces of poison. Yet police labeled it suicide, citing financial stress. The family, reeling from repeated losses, accepted the explanation, unaware that each death tightened Jolly's grip on their legacy. The pattern grew darker in 2014. Matthew Manjadil, Anama's brother, turned 68, began demanding answers. He insisted Roy's death had been foul play and petitioned for a second post-mortem. Days later, after accepting a glass of whiskey tonic from Jolly, he collapsed in his study. Poisoned on his own turf, Matthew died clutching the empty tumbler. That same year, a 2-year-old girl, Alfan Shayu, daughter of Roy's cousin Shayu Zacharias, choked after feeding on a bite of idly Jolly had offered. The toddler's eyes rolled back as cyanide flooded her small body. Aeromedics declared it a tragic accident. Jolly wept, rocked the child's lifeless body, then arranged her tiny white shroud. In 2016, Silly Shayu, Alfine's mother, typically robust but plagued by fatigue, took a vitamin capsule from Jolly Promise to banish depression and renew vigor. Within minutes, she collapsed in the dentist's chair. The capsule contained pure cyanide, potent enough to stop her heart on the spot. The doctor's report cited sudden cardiac arrest. Another name added to Jolly's ledger, another piece of property quietly reassigned. Over 14 years, 6 deaths in one extended family would have warranted relentless inquiry. Except, the family believed fate itself had cursed them. Each autopsy, when performed, cited heart failure or organ collapse. Tragically, cyanide metabolizes quickly, leaving few traces after hours and impossible to detect without targeted tests. Police moved on, dismissing each death as misfortune until Roy's brother Rojo Thomas smelled a rat. In 2018, Rojo, an English teacher with an eye for detail, filed right-to-information requests and obtained Roy's original autopsy reports. He discovered the timestamps contradicted Jolly's alibis. He died at 8:30 p.m., the file read. Dinner served at 3:30 p.m. Why had she insisted Roy had starved himself? Something didn't add up. Armed with evidence, Rojo petitioned the district magistrate, a bureaucratic gamble that reopened every closed case. Police exhumed the bodies. Forensic pathologists from Amrita Institute in Kochi, led by Dr. V.V. Pillai, found microscopic cyanide residues in hair shafts and bone fragments, proof that poison coursed through their veins moments before death. Investigators realized Jolly had built her scheme on reluctance to perform thorough post-mortems and cultural taboos against exhumation. 6 buried secrets were unearthed, 6 coffins cracked open. Jolly Joseph, 47, was arrested in October 2019. The charge sheet ran dozens of pages. 6 counts of murder, 1 of conspiracy, 1 of forging documents. Investigators discovered she had lied about her education, faked a job as a college lecturer at Calicut, and transformed from a jovial housewife into a calculating phantom. They uncovered a forged will favoring Jolly and her lover, Ms. Matthew, a distant relative and jewelry shop assistant who supplied her with cyanide. Matthew confessed to procuring the poison from goldsmith Praji Kumar in exchange for alcohol and cash. A 4th accomplice, Manoj, had stored the killer capsules in altered casket locations to prevent early exhumation. Their confession snapped the case wide open. Inside the Koodathayi cell, pregnant with his own secrets, Jolly attempted suicide, biting her wrist in police custody only to be saved by prison guards. She claimed innocence, speaking of translated scriptures and divine justice, but her facade cracked when she smiled at the thought of marrying Shayu Zacharias, the cousin turned second husband she wed in 2017 after the murders of his wife and child. Shayu later filed for divorce, citing cruelty and the peril of living beside a confessed poisoner. The trial is ongoing at the Additional Sessions Court, Kozhikode. Witnesses, family, neighbors, forensic experts offer harrowing testimonies. Dr. Shirley Vasu, former forensic medicine head at Alappuzha Medical College, warns that documentaries and TV shows risk contaminating evidence, as key witnesses are now media stars speaking boldly about cases still in court. The Kerala High Court has urged restraint on dramatizations until verdicts are final. Meanwhile, Koodathayi village remains a curious tourist spot. Taxis drop off armchair detectives at the small, whitewashed Panamadam home. The bamboo gate where Jolly once offered deadly glasses of water stands slightly ajar. Inside, the living room table, now covered with saffron cloth,
Bears.
Framed photos of the victims, smiling faces frozen at the moment before tragedy. Some say at dusk, when the monsoon wind rattles the shutters, you can hear a faint whisper, "Drink this, it's good for you." Tourists shiver. Pop culture has devoured the case. Netflix's Curry and Cyanide. The Jolly Joseph case mixes interviews with eerily recreated scenes, its haunting score echoing Jolly's lullabies turned lethal. A 10-part podcast, Death, Lies, and Cyanide, stitches every family's secret with archival news clips. Malayalam TV soaps spin their own versions, blending fact and fiction in televised melodramas, prompting courts to seek contempt rulings against unauthorized portrayals, yet the core mystery refuses to settle. Experts calculate that over 500 grams of cyanide, missing from local gold mining operations, would have been sufficient to kill 6 people. But who else might have been targeted? Police inquiries hint at a 7th intended victim, Jolly's own son, I think 5 years old, spurned by his mother's wrath when he spoke too loudly at dinner. Authorities found his spoon dipped in a suspicious white powder, but the child survived after medical intervention. That near miss may be why Jolly's smiling face cracked when she heard of the exhumations. As the trial approaches its climax, forensic teams prepare to demonstrate how trace cyanide binds to hair and bone, allowing experts to unveil the last moments of each victim. Psychological profiles paint Jolly as a classic narcissist, craving respect and control traits that transformed a young bride into one of Kerala's most terrifying figures. Despite revelations, she remains calm and court-draped, garland of jasmine in her hair, reciting hymns from memory as her lawyers fight to reduce charges to manslaughter by claiming she never intended to kill. Perhaps the most unsettling question is why the entire family accepted her alibis for so long. Were they too polite to question the courteous daughter-in-law? Or did tradition blind them to the obvious 6 deaths, each occurring in her presence, each after a meal she prepared? Their reticence echoes a broader cultural dilemma. Respect for elders can mask sinister betrayal, and the fear of scandal can bury truth deeper than any coffin. As the courtroom drama unfolds, Koodathayi remains a living museum of grief and intrigue. Society debates capital punishment, the ethics of media sensationalism, and the reliability of forensic science in modern India. bearing witness to a truth that no amount of explanation can truly exorcise. That sometimes the most unimaginable evil wears the face of domestic normality. Would you dare to sip a second glass of water offered by someone you trust? Tell me in the comments below. If this story chilled you to the bone, hit that like button, share widely, and subscribe, because next time, we peel back another layer of India's hidden past, where the quietest places hold the darkest secrets. Until then, stay vigilant, stay curious, and remember, evil often hides in the most familiar smiles.